Welcome back to the Vegan Test Kitchen, everyone. Today we're making an udon miso soup with shiitake mushrooms and kale. And I'm really excited and I'm hungry and I'm gonna stop talking. So all the ingredients that you need are listed below. Let's get started. Now the first thing we're gonna do is cook our udon noodles. Whether you bought it fresh or dried, go ahead and cook that, stick it in a colander, and let it just wait while we finish everything else. Grab your veggies. You're gonna need a medium onion, chop it into half moons, garlic, and 2 teaspoons of ginger. Our water is ready, so throw in your noodles and cook it to the package instructions. This is about 8 minutes. Now onto our shiitake mushrooms. Of course you want to give these a nice little rub down, maybe a little rinse. Keep them dry though. We're just gonna trim these stems just enough to get the woody part off. Fun fact! Miso is a traditional Japanese seasoning made by fermenting rice, barley, or soybeans with the fungus koji. And the word itself, miso, is Japanese for fermented beans. There are several varieties of miso, including red, white, and blue. Not really. The red miso is the strongest flavor. It's a little bit more salty, and it's fermented longer. White miso is sweeter and milder in flavor, and other varieties are made with a mixture of misos, creating their own unique flavors. Now on to our last veggie. You're gonna need kale, 4 cups chopped. If you're like me and you're lazy, just grab a bag. This should be about 4 cups, but I'm gonna measure it out anyway. But you don't need to do that now, so grab a skillet and let's start cooking our veggies. We're gonna put this on medium heat, throw in our vegetable oil. Once that's heated, we're gonna saute our onions and our mushrooms for about 5 to 7 minutes. You want the mushrooms to be soft, but the onions to be slightly crunchy still. All right, it said to cook everything in a large skillet. This is the largest skillet I have. I'm a little worried because we're gonna add a whole bunch of more stuff to it. All right, I think we're where we need to be, so we're gonna add our garlic and our ginger, and we're gonna saute this for another minute. Whew, that's oniony. We're gonna add our mirin, optional, 2 cups of water, and finally our miso. Now, if you're like me and you have a mellow miso, you're gonna add an additional tablespoon. If you're using a dark miso, like they request you to, then use the appropriate amount, which would be 3 tablespoons. Now we're gonna bring this to a boil. Now, in the meantime, chop your kale, if it's not already. Okay, so definitely don't use this whole bag because it's way more than 4 cups. Now this is already chopped, but I want it to be really chopped. I want there to be huge clumps in the soup. Also gonna remove some of these stems. Okay, we are boiling. I'm gonna make sure that this miso is all disintegrated because it was pretty clumpy. We're gonna lower this to a simmer now that it's boiling. Now we're gonna add our kale. And we're gonna use our tongs. Just flip it around a little bit. We're gonna do this until it wilts. And once we are wilted, we're gonna add our udon noodles, after you rinse them of course, because they're probably gonna be sticky. We're gonna toss these around for a couple minutes and let them kind of meld with the flavors a bit. Now at first glance, this seems not as soupy as I was expecting. But after looking at the title, I feel like I fooled myself because I thought it was gonna be like a miso soup. This is udon with shiitake mushrooms and kale in a miso broth. That changes things a bit. All right, and we're ready to serve. One thing we didn't do was add our soy sauce because it doesn't tell you when to do that. It does say 2 teaspoons or to taste, so go ahead and do that before you serve. Now you're supposed to spoon some broth over it. As you see, there's not that much broth. Let's try it. All right, like I said, at first glance, it's very light on the broth. So I don't know if I'd call it a soup, which they didn't call it a soup in here either. That was just me blowing it all out of proportion. It's really good. Now it did say to taste for the soy sauce. I think it could use a little bit more. I might cook the kale a little bit longer. Other than that, it's a nice mellow flavor. If you want it to be more soupy, add a little bit more water to it. I liked this udon with shiitake mushrooms and kale with a miso broth. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, hit a thumbs up. I would love you for it. And make sure to comment and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. I will see you all next time. All right, our noodles are ready. Let's rinse them, drain them, throw in our olive oil, throw in our vegetable oil,